Welcome back to Geekshow Arcade. Yeah.
Hey, I've played games lately.
Oh,
Glad someone has.
I've
Yes.
been playing lots of games, and it's been glorious. We can just start it off right now talking about Baldur's Gate 3 if we want, because, man.
I wouldn't expect anything.
Oh my gosh, it's so much.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, this is the Geek Show Arcade where we talk about video games and video game-related things. We got to introduce our panelists, so let's do that. Underneath me, he's Owen.
Hey, find me here. Just like in the last episode, I'm just relinquishing all my social media platforms. Just find me here. This is where you get the most of me. So
This is peak
the
Owen.
Mostin right here.
the most and
All right, he's next to Owen. He's Jaren.
You know, Owen, you're right. I don't do anything on Twitter except lurk. So this is where I am
dude, I'm telling you,
every
I've been
week of my
lurking
life.
I've
That's
been lurking
fair.
for years.
And my name is Jaren.
All right, he's on top of Jaren. He's Lando.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Here,
I think I heard that. Yes.
Did you hear it? I heard it.
Not sure how I feel about that.
I think we'll let
Tony?
it slide.
what?
Yes.
Weirder.
It's Lando. You find me here. I lurk other places, but this is the place. And we have a host. His name's Tony.
Hey, check me out on Twitter where I do a lot of lurking, but I also post occasionally and reply to posts at Quad T Tony or on other Geek Show stuff. All right, let's. You know what though? Before we get any further, have we got any emails?
Yeah, we got one.
All right.
Got an email from Benjamin.
Hey, Benjamin.
Getting old games, eBay or the likes. Downloading ROMs or distributing them is legally dubious unless the company is dead and gone, abandonware. Making your own for your private usage is a wider shade of gray from what I've read, but you need specialized hardware for some of the more annoying media formats.
Yep.
Cartridges, PSP, UMD, etc. Some of the new/old stuff still can't be emulated, is my understanding. And that's it. I think pretty much all the old stuff is pretty well emulated at this point.
You
It
can
really
emulate.
depends. Yeah.
You can emulate everything up to PS4 and Xbox One.
They're still doing. There's been progress on the PS4.
Yeah,
emulator.
they're still working on that. But
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing about PS4 and Xbox One stuff is it's all playable on the current gen consoles. So the need for
And
emulation is
most of those
lower.
games are on PC too. Anyway,
A lot of
Though-
them, yeah.
One of the old ones that is really kind of difficult is the GameCube. It's really hard to find ROMs for that. If you are going to do that, create your own. They just don't. They were full on huge discs. They don't emulate well. So like a lot of people didn't have the ability to store that and rip it. And
they emulate well now.
yeah, if you can find them, they emulate well now.
Yeah,
but
it's finding the ROMs.
finding the ROMs is not as
somewhat
easy.
hard.
Well, Benjamin's talking about doing it the appropriate way.
Correct.
Yeah,
if you
so-
want to go on the marketplace and buy them and emulate them from Nintendo's marketplace or their store, absolutely works
Yeah,
great.
it's like CD, DVD based media. That's probably easier to get onto your machine. But yeah, cartridges, you would need a reader along with some software to get the ROM out of there.
Yep. I wouldn't even call that dubiously gray because I don't see any difference between making a tape off of a CD that's perfectly legal to do or making
Changing
a
the
copy of a
format.
tape, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, changing the format of the media you own. It's when you distribute them, yeah, like he said, yeah, that's
Absolutely.
game over. Game over there. So, yeah, get in there, do some ROMs. Have some fun.
Steam Deck is great for that, as well as
It
the
is.
Ally.
And
Yeah.
MSI Claw, I'm sure will be good for it too. Well, assuming the drivers work good on that. That's still
That's been interesting to follow that MSI Claw.
yeah.
It looks interesting.
We're going to keep updated on it. It doesn't come out for a couple of months, I don't think. But yeah. All right. No more emails?
That's it.
All right. Thanks for writing in.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I know this is what everyone's been waiting for and clamoring for, the return of Smell-O-Vision.
Really?
I know I have been.
Yes.
We
I
had
need
some
to be
we
able to
had
send
some
a
of
fart.
this shown off at CES, and the picture of the guy who's doing it, he just looks absolutely serene, like he is having the time of his life on this article.
He also seems somewhat confused over what he's smelling.
A company called AromaJoin.
Okay.
What?
It's a wearable? This is a wearable?
Wearable
Oh!
neck device that goes around your neck and hangs down in front of you,
I cannot wait for this to get hacked. Oh.
and it will take
Of course, that's
cartridges.
where Owen's brain goes.
Houses 6 replaceable scent cartridges and can be controlled by a mobile device or PC over Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, or USB. And it's still in early days, but they're saying that they want this to be the next big immersive kind of a thing for movies, for media, movies, gaming, all that kind of stuff. And
They also have the Aroma speaker, which is like more of a desktop thing, and they shoot out smells into your face.
so
Those
a
look-
Sensi basically.
Yeah, but they look like freaking guns, like turrets.
Yeah,
So they-
it reminds me of the old Harman Kardon bubble speakers you used to get at Apple stores.
Oh,
Some of
yeah.
Oh
those.
yeah.
But yeah, they plan to have hundreds of scents available in their library. And
So they believe
it's
that they've
exactly
cracked
what
the-
it sounds like it is.
They believe they've cracked the code on the prime sense. Like, for instance, prime colors, right? You can basically make most or all colors out of the prime colors.
No, I think you're overthinking this. I think this is a different
Primary.
cartridge for
Primary
every
colors, thank
a
you,
different cartridge for every smell. It's not creating a smell from base units inside.
It's not like mixing. It's not like,
no,
it's not being
an
like
ink-
it's not like an Arnold
inkjet-
Palmer.
No, not
It's
like
like
an
an
inkjet print.
like an Arnold. It's like, ooh, this is lemonade, so we need to shoot a little bit of citrus and a little bit
Yeah,
of
no.
tea. Okay.
I'm really curious how this will be because like there's some scents that just smell artificial to me, and
Right.
I just hate like many lotions out there. I don't smell the actual scent. I just smell the artificialness of it. So I'm
Right.
really curious what this will be like.
Probably
you
like
remember
that.
you remember how betrayed everybody was when they came out with the Hogwarts Jelly Bellies, though? That's what's going to
Yeah.
happen here. Something's going to go wrong.
Someone's going to replace
somebody's going to replace
your
it.
lavender cartridge with fart cartridge.
Yeah, you went to go grab that buttered popcorn and it was booger. Everybody remembers that.
Oh, do you smell that? It smells like
Earwax
lavender.
or it's like earwax.
lavender.
Yeah. Like, remember when you went to go get your butter popcorn Jelly Belly and it was
Yep.
earwax?
And it was earwax or booger.
And you were like, and you're
oh,
like,
juicy pear. No, that's booger.
yeah. And the betrayal, that's what I foresee for
Yeah.
the future of this.
Let me say that until they create the base primary senses, primary smell like you were talking about, Owen, I don't think this is going to go anywhere.
Right.
You have to plan too far ahead. Unless
Yeah.
it was something like bundle these scent cartridges with a game, and the
Right.
game's only going to use these ones.
I
Like,
assume you'll get an oil, some sort of essential oil or oil kit, and you can then make your own flavors to put in as cartridges.
that would be
Like,
interesting. Sure.
You know, you'd be like, okay, they're like, okay, what do you want? Here's
be your own
here's
perfume maker kind of
yeah,
thing.
you basically and then just fill the cartridges or something. But I don't know.
So that they didn't talk about anything like that. They just buy a cartridge and stick it in there.
I wonder how long the scent persists,
yeah,
and if it
they-
like gets on your face, if it will like just all mix and
My eye.
you'll smell like a sewer eventually.
You smell
I
like
had
a
a-
grease trap at a fast
Yeah,
food
I
place.
had-
Oh no!
I had a
Don't-
scent-
Don't make me smell that.
I had a scent related accident. It got in my eye. I can't come into work today.
Sorry, my eye stinks.
Like if you use this on Doom or Doom Eternal, like do
Oh,
they
that
have
was
did-
sulfurous hellfire?
brimstone?
smell.
Do they have brimstone?
brimstone.
What about zombie? Do they have zombie? You know?
This smells like this. This smells like Pinky.
Yeah.
Or what's the I would want
Aroma join, huh?
I definitely wouldn't want this for Baldur's Gate 3.
No.
This smells like Beholder.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is the sewer.
Gross. All right. Well, I just thought that was fun. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but
3,000
neat.
shots to answer your question there, Jane. 3,000 shots or up to 3 months. So it's like a HP printer.
no, but he wants to know how
Inkjet.
long the smell will linger
Oh,
after
on
you
your
spray
Yeah.
it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Good call.
Because some smells last quite a long time.
It's true.
Tony can attest.
And they've got to
Yeah,
have like
I make
they've
some
got
of those smells.
yeah, they've got to have like a coffee
Myself.
bean one, right? Where they're like, oh, we
Yeah,
need to
you gotta
reset
have-
you. We got to reset your palate with a coffee
Yep.
coffee bean smell.
This is
Okay.
your palate cleanser cartridge. Let's see. Coming down the pipe from Bethesda, a new big Starfield update. They say it's their biggest update so far for the game. It will drop in beta on the 17th on Steam beta, and then about 2 weeks later for everyone else. So if you want to get on that early, go into your configuration for the game on your Steam client and change your updates to beta. And they're promising many fixes for bugs, over 100 tweaks, and improved stability and graphical textures, lighting, and shadows. So
The lighting looks much better in that screenshot.
Yeah,
I must
it
say.
does.
It's
So-
not flat anymore. It makes it look a lot more realistic. It's cool.
I think this will be a very good update as long as it doesn't break anything else in the game. But it's kind of one of those things that you look at it and you're like, the game launched for Bethesda actually in a really good state, but it should have been this good in all reality. But glad it's happening, and it's not too long after the game launched. We're looking at a month or so, a month and a half. But it just further goes to show that the best time to play a game is months after it launches.
Always.
Unless you're talking about Baldur's Gate.
Well, no.
Some of the Baldur's Gate stuff got patched out because of the cool, useful, fun bugs. That
For Baldur's Gate 3, the best time to play Baldur's Gate is anytime. Right
Yeah.
now, in fact.
telling you, this is the only thing I'm going to say about it, and then I'll be done. There was a hack that got changed recently where you could go to the vendor. You could fill up the vendor with their, you know how you can do the trade? You fill up theirs completely. Well, then they would let you switch it over to your side of the trade. After it was in the trade window, you could take it from the trade window on their side over to yours, and then just cancel the trade.
And keep the items.
And everything just went into your inventory.
My God.
And the vendor didn't even care. No negative, no negative reaction. It was just like, meh, can't do that anymore. They patched that out. That
That's
sounds like
probably a good thing.
that sounds like it would have been a lot less time consuming than what I did, which sit there and rob them until they have nothing but
Okay,
wires.
so
and-
just a side romp here for a second. How far are you? Are you in Act 3?
I am in Act 3. I'm in Rivington. No, I finally did go into the
Did
city.
you finally go into the city
the
proper?
city proper, and
Okay.
I'm in the lower city portion.
Oh, awesome.
I just blew up the fireworks.
Okay.
place.
Yeah.
So that quest was weird because there was no way to do that without having the guards go nuts
Yeah.
on you. But I figured it
I
out.
tried
so.
for hours.
Oh, I found a way.
Did you find a way?
Mhm.
We'll
Go
have
to the
talk
building.
after. We'll have to
Yeah.
talk after.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So yeah, there you go. It actually still has pretty good numbers, Starfield, even though some outlets didn't rate it very highly. In December, it had amassed over 12 million players. So still chugging along really well. And
I'm glad that launched. I'm glad that launched so well because it shows that it could.
Yeah.
And then I like this new update's going to polish that up.
Exactly.
But I'm glad. I think that
And-
all games should at least launch as well as Starfield did.
Bethesda says that they've said this in the past. They expect to ride Starfield as long as they've ridden Skyrim for. So 10
Forever.
Forever.
years. Hopefully they have something else come out in between those 10 years, but they're planning on, long support time on that. So let's see. Okay. Speaking of companies not making their things better, Capcom has decided to throw DRM on some of their older games.
This is baffling.
This is old games.
Resident Evil Revelations had an update on Steam. Very old game.
That game's like 10 years old.
And when old games get updates, people take notice because they rarely get updates.
Yeah.
It wasn't good, though. They added in DRM,
Come on.
which breaks mods.
Right.
In some cases, it can make the game run
Worse.
worse.
Yep.
And for a 10-year-old game where they're probably not making that much money on it, the loss of goodwill here is
Yeah.
so
Not
much
worth it.
more.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it
this is like-
doesn't.
this should be a canary in the coal mine. They're just testing their DRM
Maybe.
for future releases.
It's called
Yeah.
Enigma Protector is the DRM they're using now.
Yeah, it's a horrible decision. It's stupid. If anything, older games should lose the DRM so
Yeah.
that
Very absolutely.
for preservation purposes. because you never know what the publishers are going to do. They might take them down, but if it doesn't have DRM, you can keep it on your PC forever. So bad move, Capcom. I think they reversed it after the giant uproar, but hopefully other publishers take notice of this and don't do it.
I mean, shouldn't you just be getting used to not owning your games anyway?
Well, that's what Ubisoft wants you to think.
Wow, check out that segue. Ubisoft wants they have their own subscription service, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, they one of their leaders said they hope that gamers get comfortable not owning their games.
This is the head of this guy is the head of their subscription services, though.
Yeah.
So
He
he's
thinks he's towing the line at this point.
yeah.
And I'm sure Microsoft would say the same thing with Game Pass because let's face it, selling games it's lumpy revenue. If you have a
Right.
good year, you get a ton. If you have a bad year, you hardly get any, and that's bad for investors. So subscription revenue is the key.
absolutely
But
recurring.
Microsoft
They call that recurring.
investors.
Yeah, recurring
hate it
fees
here.
or whatever. But
Yeah.
here's the thing, though, is Microsoft has never said they're going to stop putting games out for sale separately. You know,
Right. And you
And
can
I
still
guess-
buy.
I
You can
guess
still
Ubisoft
buy it.
hasn't either.
You can,
but
like the risk you play is that if you have the risk you run is that if you play a game you really love on Game Pass, and they pull it off, you have to buy it, right?
Yeah.
And then
Go
it's
buy
still
it.
a digital release, but
Even if it is on Game Pass, it just feels icky to me for some reason, and I want to buy it anyway. Unless it's like something I play with my friends, multiplayer, a
Right.
couple times a year.
yeah, well, that's the thing I love about Game Pass the most is I can try games out that I was interested in but not committed to yet. And so if I like it, then yeah, a lot of the time I'll go pick it up when I see it on sale. You know, so
Yep.
so the developer is actually getting a double dip right there, where they get paid from Microsoft to be included on Game Pass. I assume that's how it works, and then like a subscription license, and then they get people like me buying it again later. Even purchasing it at a discount, they're still making money on it that they wouldn't have been making before if I hadn't got to try the game out and got interested in it. You know?
Yeah, I think there's a place for subscription services.
Oh, for
like
sure.
Even in movies, of course. I mean, it's quite established now, but you still need to sell the games
Absolutely.
outright so people can own them.
Yep.
yeah. Particularly what you were saying before too, with for older games for keeping those alive for the future physical media and stuff like that's going to always be something crucial.
Yep. Well, let's just keep the bad form train rolling. Yep.
The upsetting train.
Take-Two. I can't believe they're doing this. They are suing Remedy because they say Remedy's new logo, that if you play Alan Wake 2, you see the new logo. It looks like an R that has vertical sync issues.
I love.
I
the
think it
logo.
looks cool because it makes you
And-
look at it and go, that's a digital R. You know, like that represents a digital kind
It's
of
like
graphic.
multiple instances of an R, which represents Remedy's type of storytelling, and it.
That too, yeah.
I think it's cool.
And they're saying it looks too similar to Rockstar's logo, which the article
an
we
R.
linked to right here on Engadget, they do not look similar.
There's no star.
There's no star. The R in Rockstar is italicized and leaning forward. There's no
And they literally
italicized or leaning in the Remedy R.
no, and in most of the depictions, it has Remedy spelled underneath.
A lot of them it does, yeah.
Yep.
And then the other thing too is every time I've seen the new Remedy logo, it hasn't had any sort of background color behind it to make it pop or anything. It's just the outline of the R.
It
Not even the
couldn't
same-
be more different other than it's
It's
an
an
R.
R.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
not.
Exactly.
It's not even the same font or italicized like Rockstar's is ridiculous.
So this is one of the
can't-
dumbest things
You can't copyright a letter. Sorry.
right? And the
did
thing
that.
that further makes this funny is Jaren and I were talking about this today. Remedy is currently working with Rockstar on the Max Payne 1 and 2 remakes.
Oh, there's some drama going on there then.
So yeah, so Take-Two is over here. It's like when you have the parents are angry at each
Yeah.
other, but the kids are still playing together
Yeah,
happily.
exactly. It's like mom and dad screaming in the other room, but the kids are like playing games together.
Yeah. So yeah, stupid thing. Take Two. I hope that you just drop the suit. For crying out loud, it's absolutely ridiculous.
It's lawyers getting rich and no
Yep.
one else.
That's all it is.
This
And
is
then
it's a measuring it's a stick measuring contest.
well, even if it
You
was
know?
that, there's nothing to measure. Rockstar has 100 times the money Remedy does. You know, they have a money printing machine with GTA
Oh,
Online.
they're just showing them, putting them in their place,
That's what it feels like.
setting the pecking order.
Yeah, and it's like, come on. So hopefully, if this does go to court, it just needs to be thrown out. The judge needs to. He should just take 2 looks at it or a look at the 2 logos and be like, what?
This is stupid.
This is dumb. You're wasting everyone's
Who's wasting
time.
my time? Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. Also on the bad news train, Twitch. Things are looking rough at Twitch. They announced recently this year that they will be laying off over 500 people. I think we talked about that last week or the week before. And that's 35% of their staff on top of the 400 people.
35%.
That's a lot.
On top of the 400 people they laid off last year.
What's going
Yeah.
on?
That's crazy because
so that means in
most
the
tech
last
companies, tech companies this last year had about a 10 to 15%.
This
You
is
know,
looking at 50%
contraction.
over the
Yeah.
last year.
That's crazy.
basically.
What's happening?
Well, they had a what do you call it? Kind of an AMA thing with the boss Dan Clancy. It was
That's brave.
yeah, it was a state of the
Yeah.
company after they announced the most recent round of layoffs, and he said, "As these are his quotes." Let's see. I'll just go through all of them. He says, let's see, despite cost cutting through 2023, he says, Twitch is still meaningfully larger than it needs to be given the size of our business. So,
So they hired way too many people.
yep.
And
It
they
says
shouldn't have.
In 2023, Twitch paid out over $1 billion to streamers.
Yeah. And this is what they said about that. Twitch is no longer in the business of offering big money deals to streamers.
Yep.
The economics don't make sense. This is what the gig economies have gone through from DoorDash, Uber. They've all kind of had, they're like, it seems like the perfect deal. Everybody's making money, but if everybody's making money, then some people are not getting rich.
Exactly.
And so the cost of retaining those streamers would have been far more than the revenue generated from them.
You don't
So-
say.
Yep.
Like, I have
And-
noticed a lot of the Twitch streamers that I watch and follow have started. The ones that had like the exclusivity deals no longer have those deals. They're doing it on both
Exactly.
YouTube and TikTok and Twitch. They're just streaming them all the same thing all at the same
Yep.
time
Yep.
to increase their reach.
I
Yep.
feel like they did that initially just to get people on the platform to launch them, and
Well,
it worked really well. But
And that's what this says. He says, so while the Twitch business remains strong, for some time now the organization has been sized based upon where we optimistically expect our business to be in 3 or more years and not where we're at today. They'd been hiring and everything based on how big they want to get instead of trying to stay within the revenue stream that they have today. Now, if you don't know already, Twitch is owned by Amazon. And
Infinite money.
yeah,
I was gonna say,
and
Amazon normally
that's what
doesn't
he
care.
says. That's what he says here. He says, where did it go? I think it was down near the bottom. Yeah. Someone asked him, or I would say a lot of people asked him in the stream, so if you're not profitable, what's the deal? What's going to happen? Are you going to get the axe from Amazon? And he says the answer is emphatically no. Clancy replied to a question from the chat. Not at all. Amazon is very bullish on Twitch, and they've been investing heavily in Twitch. So, I mean...
which is weird because you don't think of Amazon and then go, "Oh yeah, gaming." Like
I think
know
that's
that
what they're trying to break
they're
into
trying to
with
break,
it, you know?
yeah, like an iron in the fire there type of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. So there was one other thing that he said that was interesting. Oh, it was right here. He says, I'll be blunt. We aren't profitable at this point, Clancy said. Amazon has been extremely supportive of Twitch, Big thing for being sustainable over time is ensuring we don't lose money. That's a big part of my job because
Right.
that's going to be what makes sure we can be here for the long term.
Right.
It's important for a business
Yeah.
to make money.
I like how he's like they're fine as long as we tread water.
Yeah.
But if we go under, if we start costing them money,
Oh, they're already costing them money.
Yeah.
They are not profitable at all.
right?
Well, Amazon is the king of not being profitable,
gonna
yet
say.
still somehow
Yeah.
increasing their stock price.
That's what Amazon did. Like, I think it was up until, like 5 or 6 years ago, Amazon posted a loss or a break even every year up until 5 or 8 years ago, and they finally started posting profit after that. And you know what it was that finally got them to start posting profit as a company? It was their AWS arm. It wasn't it wasn't their e-commerce stuff at the time. So anyway, interesting stuff there. I feel bad for the the folks at Twitch that are getting laid off. That sucks. And everyone thought 2024 was going to be the start of the, okay, we're done with that stuff from 2023, but
Yeah.
no, there's been massive layoffs already just in the first 3 weeks of the year.
Discord, in this article they say Discord, Unity.
Discord and Unity. We reported on those over the last couple weeks as well. So bummer to see that. Yeah, there's not really anything else to say after
Yeah,
that. But,
it's a bummer.
Yeah, it just sucks. All right, let's bring up some good news now. Let's
About
talk.
time. What
Let's
a bummer
talk.
this has been.
Let's talk about Halo Season 2. Did you guys watch the new trailer that dropped last week for Halo Season 2?
I did. I have no idea
Yeah.
what's happening, but it looks good to me.
I know, yeah. So
No idea, but it's so cool.
I know a few people that are very angry about this trailer because they didn't like the
Is-
first season either.
Oh, like Owen.
No, I like
No, Owen liked the first season.
Yeah,
Did you watch?
I did.
Wait, did you watch the new trailer for it yet?
Not
Owen?
yet.
You
No.
need to
It's
check it out,
okay.
dude.
Yeah.
So in the trailer, we get our first look. I think our first look at the energy sword.
Okay.
We get.
We got a little bit with her pinky from.
Yeah, we got a
season
little
one,
bit of
you
her
know?
pink. When she.
Pinky?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it her pinky
Was
or
it,
a
oh,
pointer?
it was a pointer, I think.
But
I don't
she
know what
a
you
little
guys are
energy
talking
blade
about.
comes out of her finger. She
Oh
rips her
yeah.
fingernail off,
I remember that. Yeah, that
Yeah.
that looked painful.
That was icky. But everything they're showing for this trailer of season 2 looks pretty rad. And people I know that didn't like the first season hate even more in the second season that they're going to be screwing up the timeline.
They are.
You can tell from the trailer that we're going to get into the fall of Reach, and the fall of Reach happened before Master Chief came into the picture, as far as the Covenant
But they're
War.
bringing it. But they're bringing it there.
They're mushing it all together now.
Yeah.
So
Owen,
which
what?
I'm fine with, because you know what? It's a different medium. It's a different story. And that was one thing that they were clear on at the beginning of the series, that this is an alternate telling of
Jared's
Halo
trying to-
universe.
Jared's
No,
trying
no,
to understand my
Yes.
love of Halo.
Yeah.
but my
Yes.
distaste of the.
I'm
Wheel of
trying to
Time.
understand this because, like, I agree
Because-
with what Tony said. I don't care if they change it because of the medium.
Because the Wheel of Time is such a deep world built thing. It has
Halo,
so many.
Halo isn't.
Halo's huge
No.
world build.
No, no. The
Wow,
story
it sounds like Owen's changing the rules here.
The story's not as deep. The story's not as deep.
You're right about
It's not.
that.
It didn't get
Sure.
published in 1989 and go until 2000 and
Okay, this is
whatever.
where your argument falls apart because it was published in 1990.
Whatever.
Take that, Owen.
Whatever, my guy. Seriously, give me a year. Okay.
No.
Okay. Fine. 1990. I retract my statement. But it's not as big. It's not as big, and it's not as intricate. And it's the Halo franchise. I've read the books that also were kind of like, wait, are these canon? Are these not canon? And I enjoyed those enough because let's face it, in the game you get a lot of story, but you don't get a ton because it's a game.
In the
it's
game
not
you get-
designed to do that for you.
In the game, you get a lot of world building. But you don't actually get a lot of story. There's
And
the
so-
bad guys. We need to kill them.
Right. There's
Also,
not a lot-
I might be in love with this AI in my head.
Yeah. Well, like
Whoa! He's in love with Cortana?
in the games, it's
on,
very,
dude. It's
it's
pretty
very
implied.
vague. It's like
I-
in the
I had
games,
no
she's
idea.
like,
Well,
make a promise you can't keep, John.
They don't
"I
really.
won't."
They don't really
Like-
start to imply it heavily until the third Halo.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the one I stopped at. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is by far the best, by the way. Halo 3 is the best
Very
one they
good.
did.
Very good.
But and so I know, ironically, hypocritically even, I'm okay with Halo, but not with the Wheel of Time. And I have very little
Okay. You said
justification.
hypocritically. I will accept that.
Yeah,
as long
I
as you
have-
acknowledge you're
I
a
have
hypocrite.
I have very it's a razor thin line of logic from in my head,
But it's there.
but it's there, and that's what makes me able to sleep at night. Because if I was a hypocrite for real, which I'm not, then I wouldn't be able to do it. So I'm retracting my statement about being a hypocrite. I just have a difference of opinion. There you go.
A man
Alternate
can
facts.
carry. That's the beauty of the human brain, is it can carry two differing opinions at the same time.
Yep, cognitive dissonance is my jam. I am.
Love it.
I live in the gray space. Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
don't know.
check out that trailer, the Halo Season 2 trailer. It looks pretty.
There's a lot of
rad.
hate. There's a lot of hate online saying they want John to be in his helmet more. They think this out of
Why?
He doesn't.
like,
well, they
because
don't
that
like
was one of the-
acting and facial expressions,
No,
and you
like,
know.
It's
I
the
don't
true it's
get
the
it.
big gamer nerds, the ones like he never takes his helmet off in the games.
Yeah, because
know
he's
what?
always in a fight. Why would you take your helmet off in a fight?
Because they didn't
point.
want to coat a face. They did-
That's
they
a,
did-
and I talked about this on Geek Show last
Yeah.
week on Geek Show Live on Saturday, because we talked about this a little bit. And I said, yeah, the only reason there's no John 117 face is because the first couple of games they didn't want to take the
they
time to
didn't want
make
to
a
do
face,
it. Yeah, they didn't need
and
to.
it just became part of the mystique as the
Yeah.
games went on.
Yeah.
You know, that was it. So
They would have if they could have done it for free. Like
Yep,
But
exactly.
they didn't.
What actor wants to be in a helmet for the entire time?
Oh yeah, look at what's his
Like-
name
Pedro
from,
Pascal, he's the only
No,
one
he
that-
No,
hated it.
I know he hates it.
He hated it.
Just kidding.
I think
Someone
he's out,
else,
right?
No, someone else plays him physically,
body-
usually.
yeah, it's
and then
not
he
him.
just does the voice.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So there, yeah, Halo Season 2.
Go check it out. It looks good.
Looks rad. Let's see. Okay, let's talk about another thing that looks pretty rad. The Final Fantasy VII gameplay trailer.
Yeah.
Looking good.
It looks really good. So I guess I can take it or leave it on Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy VII is the last Final Fantasy that I ever played. So nostalgically, this is my Final Fantasy VII. I never played anything past this.
You
And
didn't
so-
play the remake, did you?
I never played
It's
the
on
remake.
PC. It's on
I've heard
PC,
it's
isn't
good.
it?
I've heard it's good, but it was like mainly visually good.
No, it was like I played all the way through it. It was fun.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like they didn't change anything really.
No, they
in
changed the
story.
buttload.
Oh, did they change?
They didn't
story
even get
stuff?
through the first disc of the original Final Fantasy VII in the Part 1 remake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, this one has more gameplay gameplay footage, and it actually looks really good. Also alludes to something that I don't think we ever saw, which was an actual fight between Cloud and Sephiroth.
Ooh.
So go check out the trailer for this. It looks really good. I mean, for a game this old, the remake is looking pretty shiny and new. So
Yeah, that's because it is. It's a completely rebuilt from the ground up.
yeah.
But yeah,
So-
you should pick up Final Fantasy
Part
VII
one.
Part 1 when you see it on sale. It's worth a playthrough for sure. I
Yeah.
think you'd really dig it.
That was like the very first game that I really did a lot of the grinding, like to get the master materia.
Yep.
I think I had 6 or 7 of those. Which
I
is a
gave
lot of
up
work.
when they got to the snow scenes. I couldn't do that. I got lost too many times trying to play the original in the snow, and I never played it again.
Never went back.
Never
Yeah.
went back. Not till it was remade, and I had a good time with the first Part 1. So
Yeah.
yeah. Let's see. Let's talk about. Let's talk about Billy Mitchell, and then we'll close with Jaren's full review of Alan Wake 2.
So Billy Mitchell, who I don't think I knew before now.
You know, he tried to sue.
Oh, we
tried
did.
to
We actually talked about him. He got disqualified
Yeah.
from the Donkey Kong top score list and banned.
He also tried to sue the regular show for using his likeness in an episode
Oh, did he?
that was about an arcade
Awesome. Yeah.
arcade game.
I didn't know
and-
that.
And what was funny was you find out that he cheated in the episode.
Was
And he
it
tried-
before he got accused
I
of
think
it in real life?
I think it was, yeah. And then you find out later in real life he cheated.
So the the Twin Galaxies, who runs that
They're on
official,
the high score.
they run the high score. They have retracted that cheat. They
What?
have he is back in, and all of his high scores.
What?
Yeah. So
How much did he pay them?
here's what happens when they kill you or accept your high score. They just look at it and say, is there enough evidence to support it? And then it's a yes, no, and you're out, right? And that's what happened to him. They were like, this doesn't pass the sniff test. Obviously, you can see some things here, so he's out. And all of it, and basically they scorch earth you. They're like, all your scores, and you're banned, and you can never try again, and get out. Well, they leave the other part of it, which is the duplication part. Like they don't take the time to go duplicate what you did wrong and try and prove it. They just look at it and go, yeah, it's
So basically, they treat it like a ref in a game.
yeah.
If the ref
Called.
sees it and decides that's a call, that's how it works.
And that's what happened. And that's what happened. So now this guy, he's got. I'm trying to find his here. So his name is Dr. Michael Zaida. Now listen to his
That
pedigree.
sounds like a video game character right there.
Yeah, so this is an individual who holds a bachelor in arts in computer and information science from the University of California, San Diego, a master's of science in computer and information science from the University of Massachusetts, and a doctorate of science from the University of Washington School of Engineering, and has been qualified and who has been qualified as an expert by California and federal courts.
Sounds
he's got-
fake.
So
He's
he's got
got his
some
bona
cred,
fides.
right? He's bona fide.
He's bona
So
fide.
he went through, used the tapes, used the data, and he came to and said, the gameplay on the subject tapes, which is what they have, could in fact depict play on original unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware, which is what Mitchell got accused
Right.
of, is like using a emulator. You have to, in order to meet the high score, you have to do it on the actual hardware. If the hardware involved was malfunctioning, likely due to degradation of components. So basically,
Old age.
the joystick got a little twitchy, ran a little faster because the contacts were wearing out or something. And so they basically, whenever something like this happens, they leave it open. It's Dr. Michael Zaida. I don't know if the guy paid this guy to go look at it or how he come. I don't know how Billy.
Mitchell's
I
like,
don't know.
I got
yeah.
a shiny Benjamin if you
Yeah.
will fix this for
He's
me.
like, he's like, if you get me my medal back, man, as he put on his slotted glasses. And he's like, you get me my score back, I'll give you half or something. I don't know what Billy Mitchell's getting from it other than bragging rights. But so this guy, Michael Zaida, went and did that, and his cred basically convinced Twin Galaxies. They said, we leave this open to third parties if they want to go do this, and they did. And so they said, to this end, Twin Galaxies openly and publicly takes note of Dr. Zaida's expressed expert opinion in regard to providing a method by which the videotape content in question might have been produced. So basically they're saying, look, all we needed was a shred of proof that it could have happened on original hardware, and they reverse it just like a ref, right? And so they
Keep going.
put him back in. They said on behalf of Mr. Mitchell and consistent with Twin Galaxy's dedication to the meticulous documentation and preservation of video game score history, Twin Galaxies shall heretofore reinstate all of Mr. Mitchell's scores as part of the official historical database on Twin Galaxies websites. Additionally, they're closing the matter and removing and permanently archiving the dispute thread on the site. So now
Can't
it won't
comment on it anymore.
and it won't be Googleable, right? Like it won't get crawled. You won't Google Billy Mitchell and have it come up with, at least not as likely to
not
link
as
out to the
likely.
original source of the article.
So this, in my opinion, this stems back to the way they gather these high scores, because they accept a tape of you playing as proof.
Right.
And it's like, no, if you're going to actually be like the definitive high
Shouldn't you-
score
yeah.
thing, there should be judges present whenever a high score attempt is
Or you
is
do it at a place.
made. Or a tournament place, you know. Because you
Like
look
a
at
testing center.
Guinness World Records, you can't just mail in a tape of you balancing the most
This is
Yeah,
bar
but still, when
glasses
you
on
have,
your chin.
If lots and lots and lots of games, that's just unsustainable, right? Like, how would you do that for?
No, you choose
Lots
the
and
games
lots
that
and
you're
lots
going
and
to
lots of games.
represent. You
Yeah,
know,
if it's important enough to you, will
Or-
travel. Or will.
I don't know, I just
Or-
feel like the tape method's like the best methodology because it's scalable, right? The rest of these, your method's not as scalable. You know what I'm saying?
or you decide which ones, if disputes come up, the people that sent in the scores have to actually go play in a tournament
True.
or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, to Lando's
There's-
point,
there's
that puts
ways
a
of
barrier.
doing-
That puts a
there-
barrier of entry.
yeah,
If you
there's
have
ways
to-
of
Well, I've
doing
been watching
this
speedrunning stuff for long enough to like know sometimes it's a once in a million kind of a chance, and you get it, and that's it. You can never ever get it again. You know?
Yeah, but that's not how sports is.
Well, video games isn't sports.
It is if you talk to certain people.
even in sports, sometimes things only happen once, and that's it.
I know, but it's with people there watching, That's for the same reason why there's two different records for the heaviest deadlift. One record held by Eddie Hall at 500 kilograms in front of a crowd at a Giants live event, and then the other one is by Hafthor Bjornsson at 501 kilograms, but that was taped and sent in with just people like, yeah, do it. And so there's a dispute on who actually has the
If you did it once, you'd
world's
be able to do it
heaviest
again?
deadlift. You should, but man, I tell you, so if you go watch the footage of, and I know I'm getting off on a weird tangent here, but I love strongman stuff. You go watch Eddie Hall do that lift of 500 kilograms at Giants Live, like I think it's like 8 years ago. He gets it up, and his nose just starts bleeding
I was going to say
because
maybe
of the strain.
Oh.
Like
Let's
it's
say,
not
maybe-
something that you do.
Unless that's
a
why they wear
lot.
those big full body belts to keep
And he has
themselves
to
from
wear
herniating.
he has to wear a compression
Yeah.
suit, when you lift that much weight and everything. But yeah, like that's not something you do at all on any sort of regular or semi-regular basis. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just think that's bad methodology. It's too open to tampering if you can just send in a tape of you playing.
Yeah.
You're like, look, I did it. But
Right.
rant over. Getting off my soapbox. Handing the mic to Jaren to talk about Alan Wake 2.
Oh, here it
Finally. What? Lando. Should you even be on this podcast if you don't want to
I-
hear a review of an awesome game?
comes. I just like pushing your buttons, Jaron.
Okay,
That's what I live
fair
for.
enough. All right, Alan Wake 2.
It's Lando's game of choice. Pushing Jaren's buttons.
Yeah,
Yes!
very good, very good.
New high score.
This is more of an experience than a game. It
would
is a
tend to agree.
multimedia extravaganza. Delights all of the senses,
Except for smell.
except for smell.
And touch.
No, it could affect smell, depending on your bodily functions.
That's just me, baby.
No, I'm serious though. Like this game
is.
is unlike anything I've ever played. It's nuts. It's a horror game at its core. I suppose this is really the first horror
it
game
is.
I've ever played, and I was kind of worried that I wouldn't be up for it, but I got through it all. It really wasn't too bad in my opinion. There were a lot of jump scares, like
Lots of jump scares.
extremely loud, in your face, out of nowhere jump scares. That if I had to reduce any points from it, is I didn't mind the jump scares, but I think there was a point where there might have been too many jump scares. What do you think, Tony?
I would think that they just weren't paced well, because there's some sections where you're getting a jump scare like every 2 minutes for about
I just-
10 minutes.
I'll just play this game on mute. Can't
Yeah.
get me then.
But then you'll go 2 hours without a jump scare,
Yeah. But it's set 13 years after Alan Wake, and if you're expecting like another Alan Wake, it's really unlike Alan Wake, the first game, almost 100% unlike Alan Wake.
I
Which I think-
appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's good, because I replayed Alan Wake, the remastered version, before I played Alan Wake 2, and the gameplay for that shows its age.
It does. It's fun for a couple hours.
Exactly. It's
but
still good.
Unfortunately, it lasts twice as long as of a couple hours, so it starts to get old after a while. The Alan Wake 2, like everything about the game is just so polished. The storytelling is impeccable. The performances are awesome. The graphics are just next level. Best graphics I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
The sound design is awesome.
The sound design. Oof.
They have original songs, not like instrumental stuff, but like actual
Like rock songs.
Yeah, rock songs and stuff like that. They're really good. Like I'm going to add the soundtrack to my library on Apple
wow.
Music. I like seriously, like after every chapter, it would just play a song, and I would listen to the entire song, even though nothing was happening on the screen.
Yeah, well, the band in the game, the Old Gods of Asgard, all their music is performed by an actual band called Poets of the Fall. So check out Poets of the Fall. I've been listening to some of their stuff since I started Alan Wake 2. It's good.
Old Gods of Asgard is also on Apple Music.
Yeah, it's Poets of the Fall playing as the Old Gods of
Right.
Asgard.
Yeah, so if you want to like the actual Old Gods of Asgard songs,
Yeah.
you can find it on Apple Music. But it took me 30 hours to beat from start to finish. I took my time. Like I would go around the forest and just try to find everything I could possibly find. But it is a fantastic game. I don't know how many ways I can say this, but it's one of my favorite games of the last 10 years. I think Half-Life Alyx still beats it, and maybe Elden Ring. I don't know. That's a hard one, but it is so good. I have very little complaints. Like I said, jump scares, like some people, you may not like that bit. Inventory management got kind of hard near the end just because I had so much stuff. But it really wasn't bad for most of the game. But the story, oh man, the story.
The acting, the voice acting.
Yeah. And there's so many different facets of the game. So it's a horror game. You're also trying to piece a case together.
Mystery.
I heard it's similar to like the Ace Attorney games in that regard, where you have like this case board and you're putting things together, and like the story's starting to unfold before you and starting to make sense. It's it's a very movie-like experience. There's a lot of live action video. The graphics are almost so good to be live action anyway. It's a bit of a shooter, kind of a walking sim in some places where you're just seeing the story unfold before you. It's a lot of different things all clobbered together, and it's super interesting especially if you played Control, their previous game, because there's elements of the Control storyline that comes into it. It's all like in the same universe. So good. I've been debating if I should give it a perfect 10 or like a 9.9, but it's in that range for me. And to top it all off, it's only $50. Normal like games nowadays are going up to 70, whereas they release Alan Wake 2, a top tier game, for even cheaper than 60, which has been the standard forever,
And it looks really good playing it on your 4090.
Oh, it's amazing.
Do you think I would have a worse experience on 2K with my 3080 Ti?
No, it'll look fantastic with your 3080 Ti.
It'll still look great.
It even on the consoles, it doesn't have a lot of the ray tracing and stuff. They still planned for that when they designed the game, and it looks fantastic on the PS5 and the Xbox as well.
Oh, cool.
It just looks, better on the PC.
Yeah.
So
the themes are pretty mature, so I mean, I wouldn't let a kid play it.
yeah.
But it's super interesting, and the characters are great. There's also a lot of levity in it as well, so it's not like it's like dire and grim the entire time. But I loved it.
It's a masterpiece, honestly.
It is.
I'm
so excited for what Remedy does next.
I think I'm 20 or so hours into it, but at that 20 hours, you said I'm further along than you were at 20 hours. I'm probably, 3 or 4 hours from finishing it. And yeah, everything you said, I agree with. It's just fantastic. Awesome game.
Poets of the Fall, huh?
Poets of the Fall, yeah.
Never
Check them out.
those
I
out.
think you'd like them. Owen. Yeah. There you
So
go.
there you go. Play Alan Wake 2. It is fantastic.
On whatever system you can get it on.
At a good
Yep.
price.
Yep. All right. Well, that is it for today. Let's see. Before we leave, though, we got to have an awesome shout out to our awesome Patreon backers. Patreon.com/GadgetSpot. Thank you so much for your support. And if you donate $6 a month or more, among the other perks you get, like the in-between and things, you also get a shout out, which Jaren has for us right now.
Thank you to David Roshinsky, Connor Keesaw, and Wiffleball Tony. Thank you to Charlie Holmes. Thanks, Lambo. Andy Bird, Be the 8-Year-Old. Travis Johnson by Geekshow Arcade Helpdesk stickers at Pieman Graphics on Etsy. All proceeds go to Lee George Cade's medical bills. Landon FTW. No name, no color. Keslow, Eric Steinman, Eric Cruz. Owen has tech cred +3. Matt Nelson, Harry Patch, Adam, Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd. There's no place like G28, X0, Y0, Z0, Ryan M, and Adam Hecht.
All right. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. That is it. Lando's face is really big on the YouTube right now. Really big. Like,
Oh, you have beautiful blue eyes, man.
super big.
Let's go, Owen. Don't look at the picture, Owen. Don't look at the screen.
Until next
you
week.
can do it. You can do it.
We're out of here. Owen, take us out.
Hey, we hope you care.
It's wrong. Nope, we do.